Hey, oh, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I forgot my intro. Hey, golden child. Look, I hope your day is amazing to mute the YouTube video. I'm trying to make sure that I pay attention to the chat as well as my Zoom. For my insiders, the ones that are in my meetup groups, they get the Zoom link. So if you want the Zoom link, leak. If you want the Zoom link, you either gotta join my email list or um, join one of my groups. I have 3 meetup groups. Um, I think you know what? I think this one is a part of the mental health social. What am I trying to say? Soul Care Sunday is in all of my groups, and you'll have access to any of those groups. But welcome back to my channel. I just want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers, showing me love, commenting, liking, sharing. Like, I appreciate each and every one of you. You all are super duper amazing. Continuing to show up for me is supporting me with continuing to show up. So I appreciate y'all tremendously. um, it has definitely been a fun journey. Some days is very challenging because I have certain expectations of myself and this whole journey, this whole process, but it's more so been slowing me down and helping me enjoy the journey and each step of the way, celebrating each step, each um forward moving progress. And even sometimes, you'll look at your analytics and one aspect of it is down, but I'm like, you know what? Any movement is progress. So thank y'all so much for just continuing to support, continuing to show up for you and for me. I am super duper grateful for you all. But today is Tuesday. It's Book Talk Tuesday. And this came from our 6-week book talk that we did around my book, It's All in Me, My Journey to Freedom and Living Abundantly. The playlist is still active here on my YouTube channel, so feel free to go back and take a look at that as well. But I just wanted to continue this conversation because books for me have literally changed my life. It has been a lifeline for me being able to read, and really at some point I used books as an escape. Books and writing were my escape from, the different things that I experienced, the different traumatic um, aspects of my life. But now, books are a tool for enlightenment and encouragement. And I just wanted to really, have this conversation around the different books that we're reading because there's so many different books, but it's always, a book that we can learn from, a book that we can take insights from, a book that we can, share with one another and just have a conversation around. So it's not like a book club where we focus on one book. This is a conversation for us to really talk about the books that we're reading and how they are impacting our lives, how they are shifting our minds, how they are changing our lives. I've pretty much always been like an avid reader. Um, but more so now as I've gotten older, I don't want to just be reading just to say, oh, check it off to say I read this book. I want to make sure that I'm digesting the information that I'm reading and also applying the information that I'm reading. So, that's one of the reasons, maybe a selfish reason why I'm doing this, because it helps me to pause and take more time to process what I'm reading versus just like going through it just to check it off my to-do list to say, oh, I read today. No, it's definitely a way for me to slow down, for you to slow down and really think about the concepts that you're reading about. Even if it's a nonfiction book. Nonfiction? If it's a fiction book, there's always something to learn from it. So, or even just, interesting story that you want to share from a fiction book. I always get those two confused. But today, I am going to be sharing about a book that I am reading, and I've been reading it for a few months now because I was originally listening to the audio version of the book, but I said, you know what? I need to be able to read, like literally see the words on the paper and like take notes in the margins, like highlight. And because this book is so, it's so life changing. I don't even know what other word to say about it, but this book was recommended to me by one of my coaches, who does mindset and health and wellness coaching. Um, Lauren L.C. Thriver, the gut health bestie. But this book, the title of it is Psycho-Cybernetics, and it is by Maxwell Maltz. I originally started reading it on YouTube, because I'm big on saving me some coin, okay? Okay, Wealth Wednesday, okay? I am big on saving me some coin. But as I was, listening to the audio version, I was just like, yeah, I gotta get this book. I gotta have it in my hand. I gotta be able to like see the words on the paper. Like, you can turn the caption on, but I tend to multitask when I'm listening to a book. So I have to be very intentional when I'm listening to audiobooks to really sit down and remove all distractions because I'm gonna miss it if not. So Psycho-Cybernetics. It says tap into the power of your subconscious mind to improve your self-image, learn to use your positive past, set and achieve worthwhile goals, develop compassion, self-respect, and forgiveness, cultivate the power of rational thinking, and discover the key to a happier, more successful life. And this is an updated and expanded version. And it is an amazing book. I will say that. But it really has supported me with shifting my mindset and really seeing myself and being able to address certain underlying or subconscious limiting beliefs that I held on to about myself specifically. So I'm just going to share some of the things that I underlined from the book, and feel free to drop in the chat or the comment section if you are watching the replay, your responses to the different parts that I'm going to share. And for those that don't know, look, I haven't even introduced myself. I was so excited about reading this book. For those that don't know, I'm Jaleesa the Golden Child. I am the creator and founder of The Golden Child, and I am a whole lot of things. I'm a board certified holistic health practitioner, a author, a speaker, a publisher, a coach, a YouTuber, a mentor, an energetic worker, a Reiki master teacher, trauma a money certified professional. Yeah, and I'm a single mom. I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and I'm also a childcare professional. And yeah, I'm here in Maryland, originally from Buffalo, New York. Yeah, but that's a little bit about me. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat or comment section. I would love to know more about you. Who you are, what you do, where you're from, all the things. I want to know more about the people that follow me, the people that watch me, the people that subscribe. I'm my goal, yes, is to monetize, but my calling, my purpose is to build community and build relationships with people. I truly believe that relationships are the true currency. So as much as, part of the goal is about monetizing, it's about building a community of people that are happy, healed, and whole. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. Um, Back to the book, and let me know if you've ever read the book Psycho-Cybernetics. Let me know. I want to hear your take on this book because it has definitely been amazing so far. I didn't even get through the entire audiobook because I think it's like 11 hours long, and I found it here on YouTube first. Um, Excuse me. Let me make sure, because I know with some people that was supposed to hop on the Zoom with me, but I want to make sure, because sometimes I be getting the times mixed up. I really do. I be doing so much. And now providing childcare. Okay, yeah, I did have it on here, right? Yes, okay. All right. All right. So for those that RSVP, I will be dropping the link to the replay in the event. So you're not gonna miss nothing. But what was I saying? Oh, I originally y'all bear with me, okay? The way that my brain thinks, I be over here, over there, over here, over there. Understand that I am a manifesting generator in human design. And the way that we think is not linear at all. The way that we talk is not linear at all. It's like green, square, 3x. Like that's literally just how we think, how we talk, how we move through life. So if you're on here live with me, like, wait, go back to what you was talking, like reel me in because I would literally like go off on tangents and then come back, or I might forget what I was talking about. So help a sister out, okay? But this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, has been absolutely amazing. I started reading it on YouTube, and I didn't get through the whole thing before I was like, let me get the actual book in my hand so I can take notes and do this work slowly but surely. Because it's definitely some deep work, but a very it's very aligned with the work that I do and energetic work that I've been doing more recently with inner child healing and eliminating limiting beliefs. So as I've been going through the book, I'm checking in to see if the concepts that they're sharing are things that I need to work on. And I do that through muscle testing. And if you want to learn more about muscle testing, go back to my video, Eliminating Limiting Beliefs. Yeah, that one. I went in depth talking about more about energetic muscle testing, or kinesthetic muscle testing, and how I use it to support me with eliminating limiting beliefs. And I did do a my first time actually working with someone through that process that I've been doing for myself to do that work. So I said I was only going to be here for 30 minutes, but the way that I talk, I just be on here. Even if it's just me, I just be on here sharing what's on my heart, what's on my mind. And I have a defined throat. So that's a whole nother conversation. But to the book. Okay, if I get lost, okay, just type in the chat to the book. Okay. All right. Understanding the psychology of the self can mean the difference between success and failure, love and hate, bitterness and happiness. So, this book talks a lot about the self image, or the true self, or the real self. And it is something that I have actually done work with in human design to really decondition from the untrue self, or the conditioned self that is not my true self. So we talk a lot about deconditioning in human design. Excuse me. We talk a lot about deconditioning in human design, and this, like I say, it aligns so well with the work that I've been doing, not only with the energetic work, but with human design as well. And it really solidifies why part of my purpose is to be my most authentic self, but also support others with being their most authentic self, because it's so important. The way that we see ourselves is the way that we're going to show up in the world, but it comes from those underlying beliefs, this underlying image that of how we see ourselves, that has come from untrue and unauthentic sources. So it says discovering your real self means the difference between freedom and the compulsions of conformity. I underline that thing because it is easy to conform. It's easy to go along to get along. It's easy to just say, you know what? this is how it's been done. This is what I've been taught. I'm just going to go along because this is all I know. But when you discover your real self, and I said uncover your real self, because your real self is not lost. It's like you have these layers. It's like an onion. You have these layers of conditionings, layers of beliefs, layers of experiences that have told you that you're someone that you're really not. So uncovering your real self means the difference between freedom and the compulsions of conformity. I have always been a rebel. Like literally always, always, always been a rebel. Probably from conception. So for me, this practice of nonconformity comes natural to me. But for a lot of people, it does not. And the title of this first chapter, and I'm literally only in the first chapter, is The Self-Image, Your Key to a Better Life. And I'm just going to go through and read the different areas that I have highlighted or like underlined in this chapter. It's a lot, but so good. This self-image is our own conception of the sort of person I am. It has been built up from your own beliefs about ourselves. Again, yes, it does say your own beliefs, but they, once you take them on, they are your own. They might not have come from you. They might have come from previous generations. They might have come from your parents. They might have come from your experiences. They might have come from your environment. But once you take them on, they become your beliefs. And it says, well, most of these beliefs about ourselves have unconsciously been formed from our past experiences, our successes and failures, our humiliations, our triumphs, and the way other people have reacted to us, especially in early childhood. And this is one of the reasons why I am so like when you if you hear me talk, I'll bring up that age range from 0 to 7 because I've studied early childhood development. I understand that that is such a primitive age where we're conditioned the most about who we are, about the world around us, and about the people around us. So understanding that, you sort of didn't have a you didn't necessarily have control over what you were conditioned to believe or the beliefs that you picked up, but you have the ability to shift and change them and also become more aware of them. It says once an idea or a belief about ourselves goes into this picture, it becomes true as far as we personally are concerned. We do not question its validity, but proceed to act upon it just as if it were true. When you believe something about yourself specifically, that is how you're going to act or behave. The more that you shift your beliefs, the more that you shift your beliefs, the more you're able to shift your behaviors, shift your habits, and shift how you show up in the world. Um, I gave some keys to living a better life. It says all your actions, feelings, behaviors, even your abilities are always consistent with this self-image. In short, you will act like the sort of person you conceive yourself to be. A lot of people are out here acting a certain way, behaving a certain way, carrying on certain habits because these are the beliefs that they have about themselves. Whether it was what somebody told them, what somebody did to them, the experience that they have this belief that I'm not good at math, or I'm unhealthy, or I'm unlovable. Like they have these beliefs and they act them out because this is how they see themselves. When you can shift how you see yourself, you can literally change your life. The self image is a premise, a base, or a foundation upon which your entire personality, your behavior, and even your circumstances are built. Because of this, our experiences seem to verify and thereby strengthen our self images, and a vicious or beneficent cycle, as the case may be, is set up. And this is where I took a pause for myself specifically to check in to see what negative beliefs do I have about myself and about how I see myself that I get to address and uncover, address, and release, because it's just a time for me of growth. It's a time for um, uh, transformation, a time to up level in every single way. So for me, pausing and taking this time to do the inner work, reading this book, doing the energetic work, studying more about my human design, like it's literally been life changing. Okay. Um, it says, because of this objective proof, it very seldom occurs to a person that his trouble lies in his self image or his own evaluation of himself. I literally would sit here and like read this whole chapter because it is so, so good, y'all. The second golden key to living a better life is the self image can be changed. A lot of times you hear people say, oh, that's just the type of person that I am. It's not true. If it's something about yourself that you don't like or that you want to change, it can be changed by changing how you see yourself, by changing how your beliefs around your self-image or your true self. It says numerous case histories have shown that one is never too young or too old to change his self-image and thereby start to live a new life. When you change the way that you see yourself, you can literally change your life. It says one of the reasons it has seemed so difficult for a person to change his habits, his personality, or his way of life has been that heretofore, nearly all efforts at change have been directed to the circumference of the self, so to speak, rather than the center. And I wrote in the margins, get to the root, peel back the layers of the onion to get to your true self. There are so many things that are in the way of us seeing and uncovering our true selves. It takes work, it takes time. And a lot of people, I won't say a lot of people, some people don't are unaware of it, and some people just don't want to do the work. It's easier to just say, you know what, that's how I am, that's how I was raised, or that's just the type of person that I am. It's easier to do that. It's easier to, like I said earlier, to conform. It's easier to survive than it is to surrender to the process of transformation and change, because it's not always easy. It's not always comfortable. It's not always something that's going to come to you with grace and ease. Sometimes it's going to take, some tears. It's going to take some, some some the road to happiness starts with unhappiness. So it's a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So there are certain, I was listening to a video, I'll probably share it at some point. Probably do a, okay, I got 5 minutes. But you experience unhappiness in order to better appreciate happiness on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna go through these, try to go through these quicker because I definitely highlighted so much stuff. But if you have any questions, or if you read this book, feel free to drop your takeaways, your aha moments from this book. Or if it was anything that I said in sharing, what I've read and what I've highlighted, feel free to drop them in the comments or the chat. It says, but they have never thought to change their thinking about the self that was to accomplish these things. The way that I think, I sometimes just like highlight certain parts of it. But it says, in fact, it is literally impossible to really think positively about a particular situation as long as you hold a negative concept of yourself. And numerous experiences have shown that once the concept of self is changed, other things consistent with the new concept of self are accomplished easily and without strain. So getting there might be challenging, but once you get there, you make that shift of yourself, the concept of yourself, it'll be so much easier. The more you try to hold on to your old self, to your old habits, to the old concepts, to the old way of doing things, the harder this process of uncovering and walking in your true self will be. It talks about a system of ideas, all of which must seem to be consistent with one another. Ideas that are inconsistent with the system are rejected, not believed, and not acted on. Ideas that seem to be consistent with the system are accepted. At the very center of this system of ideas, the keystone, the base upon which all else is built, is the individual's ego ideal, his self image, or his concept of himself. Um, and then it was talking about some of the case studies, and it was saying how basically the students that were not doing well in school, it was because their issue was not that they couldn't get the concept, it was not that they couldn't learn, it was not that they were dumb, it was that they had an inadequate self-image. I don't have a mathematical mind. I'm just naturally a poor speller. Or I'm a naturally like a bad student. They identified with their mistakes and failures. Instead of saying I failed that test, factual and descriptive, they concluded I am a failure. Instead of saying I flunked that subject, they said I am a flunk out. So when you identify with your mistakes or your failures, that's when you impact your self image. When you begin to unidentified with those mistakes and failures, that's when you can shift your self image and shift how you show up. About 3 minutes. I'm making good time. um, Here's the self image, the real secret. It says you must find yourself acceptable to you. I literally, that part, when I saw that part, I was like, because I have lived a life trying to be acceptable to other people, trying to people please, trying to be validated by other people. So for me, my self-image now, it's like I'm acceptable to me. If I'm unacceptable to you, that's a personal problem. And it's really not even about me. It's about you being unacceptable to yourself. The more you can be accept yourself and be acceptable to yourself, the more you can accept other people. It says, when this self image is intact and secure, you feel good. When it is threatened, you feel anxious and insecure. So check in. The times in your life when you're feeling anxious and insecure, those are areas that your self image is being threatened or your self image is not intact. If a scar on the face detracts from the self image, as in the case of the salesman, this is a salesman story in this book, loss of self esteem and self confidence results. Okay, there are things and experiences that you've had. It might be physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, energetically, that detract from your self image. And it has caused you to lose your self esteem or your self confidence. But this can be rebuilt. You can regain your self esteem and you can regain your self confidence. Don't identify with being someone with low self esteem or someone with low self confidence, because that's not who you are. It's 7 o'clock. I got a couple more. But this last thing. It says, if you can remember, worry, or tie your shoe, you can succeed. We often think about success as this, it has to be this big to do. But when you understand that, you know what, I've learned so many things in as simple as being able to tie your shoe. The way that your brain works, it says our mind. The new science of cybernetics has furnished us with convincing proof that the so-called subconscious mind is not a mind at all, but a mechanism, a goal-driving servo mechanism consisting of the brain and the nervous system, which is used by and directed by the mind. And it goes into how our brain is the most efficient and most powerful computer out there. And if you program it for success goals, then you're going to be successful, but it doesn't have to be difficult. When you can focus on the success that you've had, even as simple as learning to tie your shoe, that can shift your mind, shift your servo mechanism for success and for a more positive productivity. And that's what it talked about in the beginning of the book. Learning to use your positive past. A lot of times we get so caught up on the negative things that we did or didn't do. That's what gets stuck, and how we get stuck in that negative failure mechanism. But the more that we focus on even the small successes, the easier it will be to step into our creativity of our mind and shift our self-image. So yes, that is what I will leave you with today. It is 7:02, but I'm excited to continue this journey with you all. I will be here, I say every Tuesday, but we'll see. We will see. Because I probably do read every day, but I'm reading like 4 different books. So I might just bring the book that I'm reading for the week or the one that I read the most recent. But again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for your comments, your likes, for subscribing, for sharing, for giving me your feedback and insight on this Book Talk Tuesday. This is something new. I had a whole presentation for the book talk for my book, but I just really wanted this to be like a chill, cozy conversation type thing. And feel free to, it doesn't always have to be me just talking about the books that I'm reading. This is a space for you to bring a book that you're reading and give us insight and share what you're learning from your books that you're reading as well. And even if you have a book that you've written and you want to give insights on that, feel free to bring that as well. But I'm past time and I know my kids are probably looking for me, but I just wanted to say, as always, if nobody told you, I love you, I see you, and I'm so freaking proud of you just for being you, for being here at this time. You are literally a golden child. That's why I say I'm not the only golden child. You're a golden child too. You are here for a purpose. You are here for a reason. The world needs you. You have infinite value or worth and enoughness. Nothing you have or will experience can take away from that. So remember that as you lay down tonight, or whatever it is that is the next thing for you, remember your value, remember your enoughness, remember your worth. All right, y'all.